I know English grammar can feel like a puzzle. Let's put the pieces together. I'm Astrid, welcome to my channel. In this video we're going to talk about the past simple and present perfect. When do you use the past simple and when do you use the present perfect? Like, is it I was or I've been? So, can you tell? When do you use the present perfect and when do you use the past simple? Well, let's see. So, is it yesterday I've been to the hospital or yesterday I went to the hospital? That's right. Yesterday I went to the hospital. And this one, in 2022 I've travelled to Indonesia, or in 2022, I travelled to Indonesia. Correct. If you said, in 2022, I travelled to Indonesia. How about this one though? Peter has never visited Italy, or Peter never visited Italy. Well, it depends. If you prefer British English, then Peter has never visited Italy. But if you prefer American English, then Peter never visited Italy. American English uses the present perfect a bit less than British English. If you prefer American English, remember that usually with ever, never, yet, already and just, you use the past simple. But if you prefer British English, then you need to use the present perfect with ever, never, yet, already and just. With American English you can pretty much choose, but in British English you can't choose. It has to be the present perfect, especially here. Peter has never visited Italy. And how about this last one? We watched a good video about animals on YouTube last night. Or, we've watched a good video about animals on YouTube last night. Yes, we watched a good video about animals on YouTube last night. So, how did you do? And more importantly, how did you know? Let's review all the answers. Yesterday, I went to the hospital. In 2022, I travelled to Indonesia. Peter has never visited Italy. We watched a good video about animals on YouTube last night. Looking at this timeline, we can put the two tenses, present perfect simple and past simple. So past simple is to describe a completed, finished past. Like yesterday, that's finished. I went to the hospital. In 2022, that's finished too. I travelled to Indonesia. And last night is also finished, so we watched a good video about animals on YouTube last night. Now a quick reminder what we use the present perfect simple for: to describe events that happened in the past but has a connection with the present, and we don't have a time marker like yesterday, 2022 or last night, and things with since and for. But remember, there's that exception with American English, so if you are more interested in American English, keep that in mind. So, to compare them both side by side, past simple is only about the past, completed past, and present perfect simple connected to the present. There's always a connection to the present. So quick look at the present perfect simple. Here, for instance, Jane has lived in Ireland for 10 years. There is no completed time marker. This sentence means either it's a past experience that she has lived in Ireland for 10 years, we just don't know when, from when to when, or it's something that started 10 years ago and continues on until today. Either one. But in both cases, there are no completed time marker. It's not a completed past. And like here, very quickly, past simple. Jane lived in Ireland from 2008 to 2018. From 2008 to 2018, it's a completed past. 2018 is not coming back. Finished. Over. Here are some completed time markers used with the past simple and adverbs used with the present perfect tenses. When using any of the completed time markers to talk about a completed past, it will always need the past simple. Markers like yesterday, last year, last week, last month, last Monday, last Tuesday, and so on. And for dates with in and the year, like in 1975 or in 1888 or in 2002, those always go with the past simple because it's finished. 2002 is not coming back. Anything with ago as well, like 3 years ago, 2 seconds ago, 2 million years ago. Anything with ago, past simple. This morning, this afternoon, as long as the time you're talking about is in the past. Not like, for example, this afternoon I'm going to the shops. That's in the future. If you're talking about the past, then this morning has to be in the past as well. How about another completed time marker, like when we were children, because were is in the past, so that qualifies as a time marker, a completed time marker. When we lived in Tokyo, or when I was at school, that sort of thing. Now let's look at some adverbials, like since, for, yet, just, ever, never, up to now, so far, already, etc. There's plenty more. They're commonly used with the present perfect tenses, but remember, in American English, those adverbs can be used with a past simple. So if you're not interested in British English, but more American English when it comes to that, go check some other good creators' videos on this platform. There's plenty of them to choose from, and they will take you through that more in depth. There. Now your turn. There'll be some sentences with gaps, and you have to decide whether it's present perfect simple or past simple in British English. So let's go. They a new car 3 years ago. They bought a new car 3 years ago. Susan, her homework yet. Hasn't finished. Susan hasn't finished her homework yet. My family in Jakarta since 2010. Has lived. My family has lived in Jakarta since 2010. When I was a child, London twice with my grandparents. Visited. When I was a child, I visited London twice with my grandparents. So that's it. To recap, completed past with a completed time marker, that's the past simple, and a past without a completed time marker, present perfect tenses. And this includes the present perfect simple and a tense we haven't looked at today, the present perfect continuous. If you want to know more about those tenses, I've made another few videos covering them. And lastly, remember that in American English, it is perfectly fine to use the past simple in many cases where British English would use the present perfect simple. That's it. So that's it for now. There are links to PDFs in the description below. These PDFs include lists of irregular verbs, which can be very useful when dealing with the past simple and the past participles for the tenses we just looked at in this video. And we also have exercise sheets too. And please like, subscribe, share, and click the notification button if you want to see more of this. In the meantime, bye!